Yeah, the Great Pyramids were built by them as a beacon also to Orion, and she told me they built the Sphinx also as a tribute to the Creator, because it's a lot of the symbolism inside the Sphinx has to do with the attributes of the Creator, which she told me about that. And they do believe in the Creator, one God, eternal. And
so what's their relationship with, do you know any relationship they've had with, let's say, the Hopi or Druids or Jews?
They haven't, no, she hasn't told me that too much about that yet. We haven't gotten too much about religion. She briefly started telling me about Jesus, and she gave me a little bit. I'm really interested in hearing more on what she's going to say about that in the future, so I can reveal it. But it's pretty interesting what she told me. She told me the differences between why Muslims can't believe Christianity is because they don't believe that Allah could sire a literal son. And then she also had some harsh words for Christianity, saying that a lot of Christians think that God had begotten Jesus, which just isn't true. They have this idea that God is a man, and she said that's not true.
Well,
God is not.
Well, yeah. The problem is they personify God, and
right.
God, in the reality, God is everything. We're all everything. We're all God.
Well, the problem with the Christians is that they take things too literally. It's not all of them. I'm not speaking for every Christian, but a lot of Christians just take the Bible just totally literal, so they think that, oh, God made man in His image, so that means God is a man.
Right.
But then it turns around in the Torah. All you have to do is turn around what Moses read and told the Israelites. He said, "Don't think God is a man, because God is not a man. You didn't see a man or an image or a form on the mountain
right.
when he burned and gave the law."
Right.
Burned the fire, his finger into the Torah, and gave the Israelites the law. He didn't,
Yeah, it goes with Adam and Eve. Actually, we're not from Adam and Eve. It's just that it's showing the relation between humanity with nature and the universe is really what that is. But not to delve too much in that, because I want to get into the.
Oh, I found the other two protocols.
Okay, cool.
The first point.
Sorry about putting you on the spot.
No, it's all right.
I just thought it was really important for humanity, because what you're talking about, two issues, and another 2, 3, and 4. I think it should be disclosed to all humanity.
All right, I gave point number 2, the brainwave resonance must be slowed down. We already discussed that. And the other one, point 4, desire to injure, mean, and ridicule and harm others has to go. It has to be eradicated. We have to put it out.
Right.
We have to deny it. We have to do whatever we can. Meditate, call on a savior, whatever it is that will help you get rid of it, because it has to go. Because if you have that kind of desire in you to be mean, ridicule, injure, some people are like that. They're wicked and they're evil, and they desire to harm others and play games and stuff like that. Whoever's like that, you can just bank on never having contact with extraterrestrials, because they just don't want to be around people like that at all.
Unless it's the reptilian kind.
Yeah, they can go join them and go munch on some cows.
That's why, because I've heard rumors that they've actually the reptilians are the ones who have actually been involved, which I'm going to ask you later about the New World Order folk and that business, and
right.
And that's why I've heard that they've now are not in our realm pretty much, and that's what.
Abena just told me no reptilians really maintain contact with any Earth people at all, because they despise us. She told me they despise us. They want to kill us. They hate us because we're like she told me just the other night. She told me they see us as a blight on this planet, and they consider this planet theirs originally because they were here first. And so, there's this great hatred that they have for us, and that's why the reptilians have gotten a bad name, or gotten this bad name and everything, is because they are bad, and they They don't like us. We're different than them, and they see us different. She told me reptilians can grow 11 feet tall, and she said me they're so strong they could crush an Earth human with their 2 hands. They're very, very strong. But anyway, the other point was spiritual awakening, any self-realization, practice, meditation, especially a deep form of meditation that people can get into is part of the protocol in order to experience self-realization, experience that calm part, that eternal part of you, which can higher force, the higher powers, the God realm, the God force, the spirit. And point 3, the last one, was fundamental understanding of creation and its laws by already disseminated teachings, and that's pretty easy. People can look at Billy Meyer's contacts from Semyasi from the Pleiades, and she's given some of the best enunciated and disseminated teaching on creation ever.
So Billy Meyer's disclosure of some of the protocols is pretty accurate then, what you're saying?
Some of it, yeah. Some of it, the religious part of it, where he starts getting into about Jesus Christ and things like that, I really cannot swallow all that, and that remains to be seen whether that's true or not. I don't think it is.
Well, it sounds like opposite from what you just inferred what she had said, so.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes people get some information and they sort of add on their own personification to it.
Exactly, and, you know, people will, even extraterrestrials, they're not perfect. I mean, they're still evolving like us. There's still trouble amongst them, and, you know, they have to watch out for things. And so not everything, you know, that they get at one time may be entirely 100% correct as far as knowledge goes, as far as understanding goes. It may change.
Let me ask you, because I know you're going to disclose a lot of stuff, because I want to get into that right now.
Sure.
And I know there's a bunch of questions I want to get you into.
All right.
One of the issues that I've been noticing, I mean, having studied it, what's pretty weird is the ideology, the prophecies of Ezekiel, which to me, I just recently did completed a film with my partner, with Amongst the Hopi, and surprisingly, their belief system and their prophecy is identical to, in reading Ezekiel is almost like saying he was actually talking to an extraterrestrial, almost like sounds like you meeting with your comrade here. Has this ever been discussed to you about anything from the Bible, such as Ezekiel? Because, like I said, it's too, like with being in your now Ezekiel being disclosed all this information.
Well,
it sounds pretty similar. But I'm just curious if Ezekiel, if she said anything of the scriptures, what has said about back then, because it's now happening now.
Exactly, and not particularly with Abena yet, but she, like I said, when we get into deeper contact, I mean, we have closer contact, and she starts taking me, and we go for rides, and that's in these kinds of in-depth questions I'm going to ask her and get answers for. But in the meantime, I can refer to another extraterrestrial who's already spoken about this, and she happens to know Abena, this other extraterrestrial.